Welcome to the Power Packed Podcast. Please be quiet and courteous and silence your cell phones now. Be sure to grab some snacks and concessions, located in the lobby. And now our feature presentation. Prepare for butter.
All the time, wondering if maybe I'm losing my mind. Stepping out to the horizon and me, or maybe I'm going out to sea. Maybe you should know by now. When I get back, everything will be alright. Seems like I'm out to sea every single night. I hope this old boat will stay afloat as we go.
I hope this old boat will stay afloat as we go.
Don't mind, maybe you'll sink or swim. Oh, I don't mind, maybe you'll sink or swim. Oh, I don't mind, maybe you'll sink or swim. Oh, I
Welcome to the Power Pack podcast. Cast. Featuring two dudes. And one friendship.
Friendship that is not mutually exclusive, like Star Wars. Lots of people involved in Star Wars, and there's lots of fun adventures to be had. Think of John and I as R2-D2 and C-3PO, and you could be our Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Chewbacca, Princess Leia, Admiral Akbar, whoever you want to be, Lando Calrissian, you pick. But we're here, podcast.
I thought you were going to go a different direction with that. I thought you were going to say, we're the R2-D2, and you're the little person inside of that metal costume, making all the noises and wiggling.
Yeah. Especially the wiggling. Yeah, that's... Beep boop, beep boop. I was watching... I was bored the other night, and I was on Disney Plus, and I was watching the Star Wars like documentary. It was like the making of Star Wars, and the guy who Kenny Baker, who played R2-D2, he's joking. He was like, "Oh, sometimes we do our takes because he's in the costume, right? And everyone would break for lunch, and then no one would know he was still in there, and they would just go off to lunch, and then he'd be stuck in there, and he'd be like, "Hey, what the heck?"
Oh my gosh. That'd be so miserable.
Really, yeah, and a lot of times, the first couple movies, they were filming in really hot conditions, so he said they came back and found him eventually, but yeah, that would stink. But yeah, that's a fun little Star Wars fact. And speaking of Star Wars, this is an episode that is dedicated to the phenomenon, The Mandalorian. Boom, 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 boom.
Wow. Yeah, so I've seen it. You've seen it. Right?
I think everyone... Yeah, I've seen all the way through. It sounds like you have too. And if... This is spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen it. If you're listening to this and you haven't seen it, just pause it. Go watch at least the last episode. If not episode... The Jedi and the Rescue. Watch those at least. Those are the ones, the big spoilers.
Or we just tell you we're not talking about The Mandalorian. We're talking about Steel Magnolians, which is...
Steel Magnolians.
Isn't that a movie? Steel Magnolias. Yeah, we're talking about that film instead. So no spoiler, depending on what you think we're talking about.
It's definitely Steel Magnolia and not The Mandalorian.
Yeah, same thing, but different. So you're the Star Wars guru, so I don't know where to start with this episode. It's just kind of an idea, but I guess what do you think about season 2?
Season 2 was, in my opinion, we're a couple Star Wars babies. Like George Lucas is both our mother and our father, and he cradles us. He kicks. No, maybe it's more like George Lucas is the father, and then Dave Filoni is like either the second father or like the mother, because they are like the reason Star Wars is so good. But for me, I thought season 2 was fantastic. I really liked that they just were going. I like that they had no reservations. They're like, all right, we're gonna have this character, and then season finale, they're like, and this character, and they just went wild with it. But yeah, I thought it was really good. I think The Mandalorian is like the best thing to happen to Star Wars in a long time. But what are your thoughts? What are some big shockers? What's some stuff that's making you still have a tingle up your spine?
Oh, a tingle mingle. I liked it. It was good. I did enjoy it. I'm trying to figure out, are they making a third one or are they done after this one?
They're making a third one. It was really ambiguous for a while. I had to do a lot of research, but they're going to make the Book of Boba Fett, which is like a spin-off.
It's a spin-off.
So it's a spin-off. They're going to make that first, and then they're going to make season 3, and they're not related, I guess, but there's like some tie-in. So they are going to work on a season 3, and they're going to keep making it. And from pretty much what I learned with the Disney investor meeting and everything, is they're going to imagine a really big orange and just somebody squeezing every ounce of juice out of that orange. That's what they're going to do with Star Wars. They're going to try to get every last drop of that George Lucas orange dry.
I feel like they made a new fruit. So they have Star Wars as the orange, and when they were squeezing it, they didn't realize a lemon popped out of there. And when life gives you lemons that look like Baby Yoda, you got to keep on juicing. Now,
keep on juicing.
How are they going to juice Baby Yoda out of season 3 if CGI Luke took him away?
That's what I was thinking too. I was going to ask you about that. I am seeing stuff that it might just be more like Mandalorian themed. So like he's going to be going with the Bo-Katan crew, and they're going to go like, do some stuff in Mandalore. But I mean, the golden gem of Disney right now and just everything Star Wars is Grogu, Baby Yoda. And like you said, without that lemon, people want that tart taste of the lemon on their lips. They don't want orange, like a mild, they want lemon juice. So it'll be interesting to see how they try to juice that.
Yeah, because as much as I want to be like, Baby Yoda, he's just like this cute thing, and I actually like watching Baby Yoda. I don't know. I'm a weirdo like that. Me too. I really liked when he was eating all the eyeballs, or not the eyeballs, the eggs. Apparently that was a frowned upon moment for Baby Yoda, but I have my thoughts about that. What'd you think about him eating that frog's last remaining spawn ever?
I thought it was funny because that's what what they're going for. I figured you would appreciate it especially. And no, I remember them getting some backlash like, oh, he's eating like the last of the species. It's like, well, I mean, Grogu Baby Yoda is kind of a sociopath anyways. He's he like saw him like force choking and force slamming people, and he's an interesting character because he's like cute and he does these things, but then he does some very scary things as well. And I think the contrast between those two is why the character's so great. So I'm a big fan too. I like watching the green guy. And
I mean, you don't blame a baby for getting a bunch of ibuprofen out of the bottle because that didn't happen. What happened was mommy or daddy was tired of you crying, so they took out 10 ibuprofens, crushed them up, put it in a spoon, and they flicked it in your mouth, and now your baby's asleep forever. See, you can't blame the baby for that because the baby can't open ibuprofen. Baby Yoda, okay, the little jar wasn't locked. If your kids are important, your little egg babies, if they're that important, at least put a lock on your jar, a child-safe lock. That's all. So don't blame Baby Yoda for eating your babies. In the Star Wars universe, I guess ibuprofen is more important than frog eggs because there's a safety seal on ibuprofen.
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
Exactly. Exactly. And you can't, and I mean, you basically need a lightsaber to get the lid off of ibuprofen because of the child locks, everything like that. And in the Star Wars universe, I think they have like med packs and things like that, but they don't have ibuprofen. You can't just waltz into a cantina and be like, "Hey, Jim, can I have a pack of death sticks and a bottle of Aleve, or Tylenol or whatever." It's just, yeah. So I agree.
Yeah, so Baby Yoda's off the hook on that one. Trying to think what else. We just watched it, so it's relatively fresh. I do like that Bill Burr came back.
Bill Burr's great in that show.
I listened to his podcast, so it's really weird, like listening to him go on non-Disney rants and lots of profanity in his rants, and then you see him on a Disney show. It's like, oh, okay. I don't know.
It's weird casting because he's a very like non-Disney person, just in general. And the casting was interesting, but he does such a great job. It's like you really like his character, especially when they're just in the whatever that like dining hall for the Empire, and that one guy's just being all creepy, and he just shoots him. Like it's just, it's funny.
It's like, I don't know what to do. No, I like that scene. I was like, oh, what's he going to do? Oh, he took off his helmet. Oh, here he goes.
Yeah. It was full of twists and turns. First season was really good. It established a lot of great things, but I feel like the second season, just right off the bat with episode 1, all the way rest of it is just like consistently good. Like just got better and better, I think.
Yeah. And I found 2 pet peeves. Nothing to do with actual like Star Wars, but just something cinema. Kind of like what do I call it? The temple doors, when they press a rock and then the temple door opens. It's like, no. Okay, so the first one is okay. The Mandalorian finds the bounty hunter helmet guy for the first time. And he takes off his helmet, and his hair is so tidy, and it's so every strand is put together, and he has that hipster kind of haircut, the big poof on top, sort of thing, which is fine. Whatever, you do your thing. But if you're wearing a helmet all day, and you're like in a hot planet, you take off your helmet, you're gonna look like a hot mess. But he looked like he's about ready to. I don't know. He looked like he was Edward's brother, and they were about to go and fight off werewolves and take Bella back, and they're gonna have some hot tea and watch the Underworld together or something. Like he just looked like he was ready for a hot date with Edward's
that's a great
lover.
It's great. That's a great analysis, and that's a good point because I forget about that. And especially like a Boba Fett helmet, that thing's got to be sweaty and it's got to be like really sitting on top of the hair. But like you said, it takes it off and it's just like hair is just like he just put in the gel, some Dapper Dan or something.
It reminded me of like those Maybelline commercials where they do the big hair whip.
Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe it's bounty hunter season.
Yeah. Maybe it's Tauntaun blood. Yeah.
You want to look your best killing rats in the sewers? Try Maybelline.
Yeah. I really like how the rat killing from episode 53 came into this one.
Always.
You're like, I won't get that. It's going to go into every episode moving forward. It's just, sorry, pack rats. That's just how it is.
Be ready.
But what are them other pet peeves? You got one. I want to hear more. This is great.
Okay, the other pet peeve, it happens all the time in movies, and I don't understand it. So, I think there was like a stormtrooper guy or something on like a turret, and he was shooting lasers like da 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 da, and it was going after. I'm terrible with characters in movies, by the way. And he was shooting that muscular chick with the long hair. What's her name? She's a good guy.
Cara Dune, right?
Yeah. So he's shooting at her with the lasers, and she's just running, and then the lasers are like exploding behind her. And in my mind, I'm just like, why don't you just fix the angle of your shots by just moving your wrist like 5 inches and then start shooting in front of her? You know, like he's just slowly shooting. Okay, first of all, laser beams, they should be going the speed of light, right? So they should
way
be
faster.
instant. And there's like no recoil on a laser gun. It's just like do 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 do. So how come we can't just move the laser 5 inches, start shooting in front, she'll run into the lasers, die, bam.
Yeah.
But that's in all movies, like Matrix, anything where there's running and then bullets behind. Do. It's like,
that's a really good point. You're like chasing them, and if it's especially like a hallway or something where it's predictable, you're like, okay, then like you said, it makes sense to just quickly move it a little bit in front and then work your way back. So, yeah, that's a really good analysis. Were you taking like notes or mental notes? 'Cause it's pretty impressive.
no, when I see something like that, I'm just like, ugh. You know, like you could have like hit her.
Whoa.
It's like, amateur cinema making.
Yeah.
Not realistic.
Not realistic at all. I can't wait for you to be a director someday, and you're on the set of the Possum King 4 movie shoot, and you're like, I remember when they, like in your movie, there will be someone on a turret, and you're like, no, make them go in reverse.
Shoot backwards.
You'll know. Yeah, and someone will take the rat crown off, and the hair will be messed up. You're like, that's how it should be. You know, like you'll make a very real movie.
Yeah, I'll have like the people come out of makeup, and then one of the main lead guys will have like the eyeliner. You know, like the mayor of Batman, Dark Knight. It's just like,
Yeah,
he's wearing way too much eyeliner. I'll go to the makeup artist and be like, you're fired. And then I'll go up to that guy with a wet washcloth and just start rubbing his eyes. And then the lead, like, lady actress will come up. She'll be all like decked out, you know, looking like a little plastic Barbie doll. I'll look at her makeup artist and be like, you're fired. And then I'll dunk her head in a pool of hot water because there's a lot more makeup to get off. I don't think I could get off with a rag. Yeah. And then I would just wiggle her head around until splash it like a little duck trying to eat some plants or something. And
like a little duck, yeah. This is the process. This is you as like your director, executive producer. You know, you're making your movie, and like you said, you come in one day, you've already down 2 Red Bulls in your car, and you're on the 3rd one, and you're just going for it. You're like, okay, too much makeup. What's with this light? Where are the donuts? You know, just like really, just go for it.
And I'd wear one of those Davy Crockett hats, the raccoons. And
that's
then
even better.
I'd have,
even better.
You know those old cap guns when you're a kid, and it had like the little like caps that fit into it, and it made the loud noise, snap, and smoke would come out. I'd have that when I was mad at someone. I was just like pointing at them and go, clack, 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 clack.
You're fired.
You're fired. Whenever you got fake shot at by my toy gun, that means you're fired.
Oh, you're just like doing your job, and you hear pat pat like 20 feet away, and you're like, oh, keep doing it. And then you hear pat pat 5 feet away, and then you look over, and then you see John in his David Crockett hat, and that's pointed right at your face, and you're like, you're late. Pat pat, and then
it's like, I'm Tom Cruise. You can't fire me. I just did.
I just did. Then you like get on all 4s and let out a pig squeal and start scurrying around.
And then I run back to the set from the top.
Yeah, again. Faster. You'd be a legend though. They'd be like, this is because it's even like George Lucas. Like he was, you know, people didn't really like working with him at the beginning. But with you, it's like you're a visionary. So it's like you have all these ideas, and you're like, gotta trust John's judgment, because he knows what he's talking about. You know, this is the 4th Possum King movie, and then you're just like scurrying around. You've got the cap gun on your hip and the raccoon hat on, and it's just like everyone's like, okay, we have and you don't really direct. You just kind of scurry around and do the cap gun.
I get a package in the mail, and it's like a possum, and I take it to the lead actor's trailer, knock on his door, he opens it up. I just put this wild possum in his hands. Be the possum. And I close the door. It's like method acting. I treat everyone like Shia LaBeouf or something. Like, If you're gonna play a role in the Possum King, you have to know a possum inside and out. We're gonna eat possum.
Yeah.
We're gonna have possum pets.
You.
We're gonna attach
Just
possums
all
to
things
little
possum.
carriages. That's gonna be how you get to work. Like everything about your life is possums.
It's like possum clothing. At one point, you dress everyone up like possums.
And
do
those
like,
shoes, cowhide, get them off. We
get
need
'em off. I
possum
want possum
shoes.
skin. I love that instead of everyone's like, long day and you're like, okay, I catered lunch and you're like, it's Panera. And like everyone gets excited and they show up. It's just a bunch of possum chili
Possum-era.
again. Possum Mara. They just start running around. It's a way to like.
I also imagine my possum shoes have tails on the heels, and so when I run, the little tails just like wobble up and down.
Gross. Oh, that's so gross. Yeah, I imagine like you running and then they're just like, like the little tails, and you got the David Crockett hat on. Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny. My throat hurts from laughing that hard. Oh, yeah, it's that just. I think I'm a very visual person. I'm just visioning that happening. These like poor people working on this. Like I imagine almost like the Room where these people sign up and they don't know what they're in for, and it's just you like tricking them into thinking they have Panera, but you just have a bunch of possum meat and making them wear possum pelts, and it's just so good.
And then secretly, they don't know that that's the actual movie. Like the script I have the actors acting out, it's like a decoy movie. The real movie is like a reality show, getting the reactions of all these actors and how they're living through this weird experience of this possum-related filming experience. I call it the Possum Project.
The Possum Project. Oh my gosh, it's like it's just real. It's raw, and I think that's $1 million movie right there.
Yeah, we just need to get a budget for it, so we can start making our dreams reality. Maybe we can tie it into Mandalorian too.
Oh yeah, Mandalorian. I think the Mandalorian's great, but the idea of you as a director with possum tail shoes and a David Crockett hat and scurrying around with a cap gun and pig squealing, it's just all the better. It's just so good.
I really want a way to tie in the Possum King. I bet. Oh, you know what? I bet. Okay, this is weird. But it could be kind of cool. So you know how like Disney owns Bambi and like every cartoon ever, like on Disney Plus. I'm trying to think out loud. I'm processing as I go. What if the hunter that shot Bambi was a bounty hunter?
Ooh.
What if it is tied into like everything Disney? What if Lilo and Stitch? What if Stitch was a bounty hunter's pet that got loose? Because it's an alien.
So just tie it deep all together.
What if it's all tied together?
Yeah.
What if the stampede was actually from a bounty hunter ship landing, and that's how Mufasa died?
Oh, it's from the ship, and then it's a bunch of Gungans trample him.
Yeah.
It's like, isn't that kind of? I haven't watched any of the new Marvel movies, but I know there's like a big like an in-game whatever. They bring all the movies together, so Disney makes one like Lord of the Rings, Return of the King 4-hour crossover movie where everything's tied together that they've ever made, like even the weird cartoons from like the 20s and just everything.
Yeah, and like the Nightmare Before Christmas, he like goes into the snow door, but when it's panning through, there's like a Star Wars door, and there's a bounty hunter face on it. Like everything's tied together.
It's just bring it all together, yeah. And I like that. It's just especially most of the movies, like you said, have Mandalorians. Not even like Jedi or anything. It's just like they sneak Mandalorians in any of the Disney movies, you know.
I don't know how you would do it on Little Mermaid, but
you could do there's like the frog lady from Mandalorian, and they do some underwater. And at Phantom Menace, they have that underwater ship, and the Gungans live underwater. So like the Little Mermaids could live near the Gungan, whatever that place they live, Gungan City.
I like that.
So we we've got material to make the crossover movie happen. It's just a matter of, logistics, like money and like getting Disney to sign off on that. So we'll get it figured out, though.
Okay, here's
Small
our
details.
Kickstarters. We have a Kickstarter for the Possum Project, which is pretty much 2 movies in one. We make a movie about whatever possum thing, and then the movie itself, like behind the scenes, that's another movie.
Yeah.
We also need to kickstart something to where we can get licensing to make Star Wars crossovers with Disney movies. So yeah, we have 3 huge projects. So spread the word. Someone make a Kickstarter and send us the money when you raise all the funds, so we can do it. We trust you.
So we'll leave it in your hands. Once you get the multi-million dollars, let us know. We'll get the movie started. We're in this together. It's a team project.
We're all in this together.
Oh, in this together.
So this episode took a little turn. It was Mandalorian, and it kind of finished Mandalorian. So we hope we didn't.
It's still
disappoint in that way. I mean, it's just our opinions. That's about it.
Yeah,
that's all this show is. It ain't anything. We're not like sportscasters like ESPN. Oh my goodness, did you see Charles Barkley play for the Patriots and he broke his ankle? Oh, that's gonna bring down morale for their center. I don't know if their center is gonna be playing at top notch this season. I think they're gonna have to sub in someone else with a better attitude, because I know that center has a potty mouth on the field, and that reacts negatively with the rest of the line, and I don't think they're going to play as well against a team like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who they just preach positivity. And you go on with a positive attitude, nothing negative you say is going to bring you down. And that broken leg is going to bring everybody down, even regardless of the negativity. It's going to add to it. So what do you think about the Bills returning to the playoffs next season?
Well, I think they're gonna have a good game of the foosball, and they're doing a good job. But
Well said. And I think that Coach Buckley for the Green Bay Packers, he needs to stop hitting his kids with the newspaper.
Is that a real thing? Is he actually?
I don't even know if there is such thing as a Coach Buckley. Let me search Coach Buckley. Hitting his kids with the newspaper.
He's like, "Damn it, George!" And then he just hits him with the newspaper.
There is a Coach Buckley.
Is there a Coach Buckley? What team is he?
Terrell Buckley, Florida State. Oh, you can email him. rebelfootball@olemiss.edu.
You should email him.
I should email him. Do you hit your kids with the newspaper?
Hey, listen to our podcast. That's your marketing thing. So insult him and then just throw in the pitch. Be like, "Oh, thanks."
Thanks. Have a good day.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
And by the
we're
way,
raising a Kickstarter.
Oh yeah, fund our Kickstarter. And who reads newspapers? Come on now.
Nobody. They're only good for whapping,
hitting and splitting.
Yeah. I guess my power packed wisdom is don't hit your children with newspaper or anything at all. Treat your children nicely. They deserve it.
Yeah, my wisdom is if you do want to discipline your child, if he's keeps chewing through the power cord of your toaster or whatever, and you keep soldering it and electrical tape back together, and your kid's still like, "No, I want to eat this," and chews through it again. Take the newspaper, but instead of smacking them with it, just rub all the ink all over them, and then they'll just be all messy looking.
Yep. Then they look weird, And
then they get made fun of at school. Yeah. They're like, "Why do you have all these splotches of like ink all over you? What's wrong with you?" And then you just say, "It's because I chewed through the cord of my toaster 4 too many times.
Dad didn't like it."
Daddy didn't like it.
Daddy didn't like it, so he rubbed newspaper on me.
He smothered me in newspaper, and now I smell like the news. I stink.
Stinky news boy.
Stinky news boy. Extra, extra. Read all about it. I bit my toaster cord, and now I have no friends because no one wants to hang out with a smelly, inky newspaper boy.
And the smelly, inky newspaper boy.
Okay, bye.
Thank you for tuning into our regularly scheduled program. Contact Josh and Jonathan at powerpactpodcast@gmail.com. Support the show at patreon.com/powerpact. See you next time, you dirty little rat babies.